Hello everyone, in this video I'll be answering the question, is the Gomie the homie in Borderlands 4, and talking about the best assault rifles in this game. Now, the Gomie has a ton of rolls which we'll be breaking down because there's some pretty crazy ones like you see here with the shotgun loader. This will do insane amounts of damage, and I'll also be doing a comparison to the other most powerful assault rifles. And we'll see how it stacks up against the crow-sourced here. Now, the two best rolls for the Gomie are as follows. This is one without any of the extra additional added features like the Ripper part, which does lower the amount of damage that this will deal. However, as you saw, the Ripper is pretty insane. Now, the special feature on this is the Ascending Storm. On hit, gain a stack of Firestorm, which increases the weapon's damage by 5%. Reloading will unleash the Firestorm on nearby enemies. This can be nice to fish for second wins, but what's great about this weapon is you always have Jakobs rolls on it, so it's going to have those critical hits rolling around. Daedalus Shotgun Loader is my favorite roll on this. With the Ripper part, you saw it there at the start, it does insane damage. Now, one cool thing though is if you don't have that roll, going with just the regular one with the 7,204 damage, which is 132 DPS, the time to kill between both of these on the boss that I was showcasing there is relatively the same. I ran through multiple times with all the assault rifles in the game, and I'll be sharing my findings with you guys. It'll come with a 24 round magazine if you have the Ripper part attached. If not, it comes with an 18 round magazine, obviously with the higher damage here. The Ripper gives you an insane fire rate, which is why it's so good, and it makes it even better with the shotgun loader. But I went through and I got a ton of different rolls of it here, so I'm just gonna go through a variety of them because this is a tough one to farm. Pearl's got so many, like this one in particular has so many rolls. You can get one that's got 13k DPS, compare that obviously to something like a 25k DPS, and you're gonna see the shortcomings of the weapon. It's still very strong no matter the roll, but the roll matters a lot when it comes to this weapon. You can see here I got multiple of the high damage roll one here, so obviously getting the different elements was important, and you could actually roll with a full loadout of these weapons. But the weapons we'll be comparing the Gomie to today are the crow-sourced, the Wombo Combo, named after Smash Bros. Technique, the Bonnie and Clyde. This thing, I've been harping on how good this is, and it's unstoppable. And I will give an honorable mention to the Oscar Mike on me. This thing is pretty crazy with the space laser that you can drop down, dealing insane amounts of damage every 0.2 of a second. This thing is pretty solid just as a kind of a get out of jail free card, but I'm not going to compare it to the rest of them because from my testing, it's not as strong by any means. Especially once the sticky magazines got nerfed on the latest update, the damage from this thing just isn't as high as obviously things like Wombo Combo, Crow Source, and the Bonnie and Clyde. Now, what's better between this one here with the no Ripper part or a Ripper part with a Jakobs? Well, this one's great if you like to have carpal tunnel because you have to spam the trigger really quickly. That's the property of Jakobs weapon. So for most people, I'd actually recommend the Ripper part. Despite losing a bit DPS, you do actually gain that from the fire rate. This is even better on characters like Cash with their Gloam to Glow, which can add a bunch of extra damage on top of that. I am using a Harlow build, which I'll show you guys here, which is going to keep things as consistent as possible. Infinite crit, so I don't actually headshot, and able to showcase this to you guys well. And I spent the last few hours going through and got times for all of the assault rifles to showcase how powerful they will be. And I'm going to use a boss that is pretty consistent to make this easy. Any carpal tunnel enjoyers in the chat here? Well, this weapon, you can see, does considerable damage. This one, you probably hear my mouse button going crazy. You have to spam it. That's really the thing with this weapon, is you gotta literally just keep pressing the button down, or if you're using a controller. Another thing I want to mention, Harlow has infinite crits, and for whatever reason, the Gomie doesn't always give us that. So this is one thing that has been noted by a few other people, as I mentioned in some previous videos. It is a big downside to it because for whatever reason, this weapon does not trigger that as consistently, the infinite ammo. So that is one thing that is kind of annoying with this weapon. For whatever reason, it's one of the few that actually does have this happen. After doing 10 runs of the same boss over and over again, timing it, the consistent time that I was able to get is around 22 to 23 seconds with this weapon, which is obviously really good. I did do a video previously where I talked about the SMGs with the Juliet Sparkle. I'll have that linked in the comments if you want to check it out and benchmark it against these, but 23 seconds for that boss in Ultimate Vault Hunter 7 True is pretty solid. Next, I'll show you guys the Ripper shotgun version. This was such a nightmare to farm, so yeah, you're going to be going to Splash Zone often. Now I'll show you guys this in shotgun mode because that's where all the damage really comes from. As you can see, I'm not breaking my wrist, not getting much pain there, and the ammo is actually staying infinite, which is kind of weird. It doesn't work as consistently with the other. This one was getting some pretty crazy quick times. As you saw there, it was pretty consistent around 13 seconds. That's insane. So this is obviously the god roll for it, and it will take you a long time to find a weapon like this. Now here it is in the assault rifle version, which you're gonna see where the Ripper part does kind of fall off a bit. Now, this can also have an issue where it does not generate the ammo, so I'm not sure if it's the assault rifle ammo that's on this that's causing the issue, but I'm also using just yeah, you saw it right there. It's pretty crazy. So this one, unfortunately, is getting worse times than the other one that has the higher damage. This one on average was getting around 24 seconds, so a few seconds more than our high damage version without the Ripper part. Now, a second or two is not that much of a big deal when it comes down to it, because you're going to save yourself from not having to spam the trigger. So even if you don't have the shotgun ammo, like a pistol, a sniper, it's still a really good weapon. But like pretty much every weapon in this game, if you can get the shotgun loader, do it. This really benefits Harlow, who can infinitely generate ammo, as shotgun ammo, if you're taking this as Subjugator and Thole, you're running out. Now the Ascending Storm again is really nice. I'm not going to take that into account because we'd have to reload the weapon. That's obviously not something that's going to showcase the weapon very well. But again, as mentioned, it does help us with getting second wins pretty well. So the conclusion here, the best possible roll for the Gomie is going to have a shotgun and Ripper part on it. It will take you some time to find. But even if you don't have one of those, if you can get the highest possible DPS roll, that is going to be just a slight bit better for more effort. The Ripper part does decrease the amount of damage potential. So now the Wombo Combo, I love this gun. This one is actually really crazy on a Harlow red build because neutron capture kits added to the extra rockets that get sent off. This thing is good for vile crystals as it does explode them, but now with the Crow Source, which is obviously very powerful, it can deal with that kind of stuff as well. The Wombo Combo though is still a consistent weapon. However, the time to kill on this thing is abnormally high. So just looking at it here, you're going to see the shortcomings, and I'll get in closer there just so the rockets end up hitting it properly. This one, you can see we got a shock version, so it's going through the shock health bar pretty quickly. But what's going to happen, also another thing I want to mention about this weapon is the rockets are going to actually hurt you. I have God mode triggered on just so I can showcase this as best possible for you guys. This was taken on average about like 45 to 50 seconds. Like it's a rough weapon if you're going for pure raw damage. What's funny is most people consider this to be the most powerful assault rifle, and you may think that if you haven't used the Crow Source. Obviously that does require you to purchase a DLC to get the Crow Source, but you can see it here. Its damage potential is not really as high as some of the other weapons here, so this is good for those vile bounties, vile enemies, and everything else crystal related, but the damage is taking you over twice as long to kill on a normal Ripper part of the Gomie, and the assault, if you take the shotgun loader, it's like 4 times as long. So this has its time and its place, and I love this weapon. This is the best possible roll you can get for it. It's a fun one, but it does fall off in terms of like time to kill. Now Bonnie and Clyde is one of my favorites. I love using this on Vex as it's a kinetic based weapon, doesn't come with elemental rolls. Unfortunately, I can't showcase, like I'm trying to showcase everything as a shock weapon just to keep it as consistent as possible. But the big thing with this, it got a buff. It's going to give you plus 150 damage on the opposite mode when you get a kill. What's amazing about this is the assault rifle version has insanely high damage, and the shotgun's great for taking out little weaker mobs. So the way you're going to use that is go up, blast away at one of them, and then swap over to your assault rifle version, and you can see this thing is actually melting. It does some pretty solid damage. This is best utilized, like Harlow uses it really well, Vex uses it well. The damage from this is so high. There it is again, not properly getting us infinite ammo, but the time to kill on this thing is actually roughly the same as our best damage Gomie without the shotgun loader. This one was getting consistently around 23-24 seconds as well. So interestingly enough, if you got yourself a Bonnie and Clyde, this is a good one size fits all for everyone because the damage is pretty insane. I recommend this in builds, and I have people tell me this gun sucks. You got to take the shotgun out, take out an enemy, and swap it over. It is one that's a little bit more involved, so if you want something that's a little bit more mindless, rolling with just a Ripper Gomie will give you roughly the same time to kill. Now you guys probably already knew the Crow Source is coming next. This thing is unstoppable. So I thought originally that this was a reference to Always Sunny in Philadelphia because it's talking about Crow Source, like the Crow Teen. I thought like that, and we had to share the rock as a Halo 2 reference, funny enough. But what's powerful about this is going to fire random objects. It can have splash damage. They updated this on April 30th to then apply splash damage increases to this. I'm not even going to use the new firmware that takes the damage up another 100%. That makes it the best assault rifle. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. But even without it, This thing is insane. Now, another thing that I want to mention about this is the fire rate number that you see beside the ammo. So it's going to have a different charge rate. There's ones that are going to be low as 7. I don't love those. They will be obviously pretty solid because they're going to have higher base damage. If you want to find one that's like 9.3, 9.9, or 10.5 per second, this gives you the fastest charge rate so you can continually keep firing it off. So like the other Pearl that we're talking about, Gomie, this one has a lot of rolls for it. But you can see it here without even using the special weapon on, or the special firmware that's going to boost up its damage another 100%, and without using an order enhancement to further boost up its damage, this thing has got the fastest time to kill. It is insane here, like absolutely insane. Consistent 12-second kills, which is faster than the shotgun Ripper Gomie. So is this the best assault rifle? Definitely. It's just unstoppable. But the Ripper shotgun Gomie does give it a good run for its money. They're pretty close. I gotta give it to the Crow Source though. This weapon is also fun to use. There's not many order guns that are good, but if you get one that's got a fast fire rate on it, allowing it to charge quicker, that would be the best assault rifle in Borderlands 4 currently. Although the Gomie is still really good. If you got the Jakobs and Ripper part, they're very considerable. But it's only the shotgun version. So if we're looking at true assault rifles, obviously Crow Source just wins like 9 times out of 10. And even the Bonnie and Clyde can be somewhat considerable to the non-shotgun Gomies, and actually a little bit better in some cases because it's got that swapping mechanic, so you can go into a shotgun form as well and regain ammunition. But I'm glad we're finally getting some powerful assault rifles in Borderlands 4. Hopefully the next update will give us some more as well. Let me know your thoughts though in the comments. Hit the subscribe button below if you enjoyed this video, and we'll catch you all in the next one.